Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander. I'm here to host our show, Life Laughter Happiness. Today, we have my co-host, Kelly. Are you there, Kelly?
Yeah, hi.
Okay. All right. Now, and the lady that we're interviewing is Anne Van Ireland. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. You've had some unique experiences. You've seen angels. You've had some very unique gifts. And, you really have sort of held it in. You haven't really told, I guess the best place to start any stories at the beginning. So, I guess, when did you realize that you had something that eventually would need to be shared?
You're a baby, okay, and you start to pay attention to things in the world and things that get your attention. I was tapped into my gifts and knew I was unique from the time. I always put it this way, when I was in my crib, I remember even the position I would lay in at night, and I knew that there was a presence in the room with me at that time even. I could see energy, and it looked like little fuzzies, and imagine if you were laying in your crib and you were a little baby, and you saw like little fuzzies, and they were all different colors, and you could see them floating, okay? And I guess that's the best way I can describe it. And what is funny is because when you are gifted, people that keep to themselves or people that people think that, that are more introverted, there's a reason for that because they have a higher level of intellect. They know that they have something that's sacred that needs to be protected. It's kind of like your inner guidance, like your DNA, your roots, we reincarnate. So imagine so there's a source, and then the veil, you know your mission here on earth and who the people in your lives, actually, who the players are. Imagine if it's like a movie, okay, and you have your script. And everybody's the veil goes down, you think you're going to remember everything, and bam, the veil goes up, and now, in the Bible how they say, and then there was light, okay? Now everybody's got their scripts. And now you're in the school of earth. Look at it like that. And this is destiny, okay? Look at it like that. So, and you hear people now, because we have sources like the internet and Facebook, and people can just get out there and connect, and they don't need PhDs, because one thing that people don't understand is if you haven't had hands-on life experiences, like a life after death experience, okay? If you've never experienced death, okay, then you can do all the homework you want. You could have got good grades in school, straight A's, but if you've never experienced it, you don't really understand it, okay? So imagine you have gifts from childhood. You did a soul contract, okay, with God, source, oneness, and you came here to earth, okay? And we're all different strands of DNA. There's other galaxies, there's ETs, and, just like the story of Jesus, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, okay, so now you have the New Age teaching. Religion is very, very good. I only can share on certain topic, to a certain level of this, because when people have enlightenment or have a death experience, a small percentage of people can really experience that, and it does stem from trauma experiences. Like, let's say I grew up really, really, you grew up really, really wealthy, Kelly, okay? But let's say I met you at school, okay, and I lived in Detroit, okay, and I grew up in gangs, and I, was in shootouts, and I just had a very different childhood than you. Okay, my life was harder. When you talk about experiences and like let's say because you lived a more prestige life, okay, more like of a your parents were more wealthy, where I was able to get myself in situations where I was not always so safe in life, and I had gotten myself in situations where I had to pray for safety. okay? Like incidents of someone playing Russian roulette with me, okay? So like, and let's say you've never experienced that. So you can tell me all day long that, you know, you who lives in this big old fancy house and you got parents that are doctors and lawyers, and I'm looking for my mother, you know, that kind of stuff. When I go to source and spirit, it has to reach me in a different way than it would reach you. You know what I mean? So if someone's trying to shoot me and I'm trying to get safety, it's much different than you saying, I need a cab to get home because, you know, Mom took my car keys, you know. It's a different kind of level of reaching source, okay? So that's why they say, you know, like Johnny was talking about, I believe people with trauma, you know, it is true, okay? Science has studies out there where if they get 2 or 3 more people, like in a center like Lakeside, okay, what they noticed is if they got 2 or 3 people that were in trauma situations, okay, trauma, when people are in trauma, what's the first thing they do? They try to connect to a source, right? A higher power. And so they are connected. So what they do is they usually go into hospitals like Lakeside, and they have experiences where they're talking about talking to God, and they're having experiences. Well, back in the 40s, they realized that if in institutions like this, because they've been around forever, you know, through the government, they realized that if they got 3 or more of them together that were having this hallelujah experience, or no matter, like, let's say even had different cultures or spiritual beliefs, like let's say you were Catholic and I wasn't, but we came in with our own experience of our source of Jesus and our source of God source, you know, our inner guidance, our roots, okay? What they noticed on the collected is that they were able to get 3 or more in a group, that they would able to predict things backward and forward. So, like, let's say you and I came in and you had a Hindu type, you know, upbringing, okay? Something that I never understood. And let's say I was raised Baptist or something, okay? And you were curious about me, and I was curious about you. What they noticed is all of us were coming in uniquely curious about each other, and we would all, for example, if we were in the study, would share events to come and stuff from the back, like that they would all talk collectively, like about Jesus and back in the time of, you know, that era. Or they would talk about predictions of things to happen. So they noticed in the collective, okay, that if they got a bunch of people globally to connect, that they could see things like remote viewing, okay? And that's what I'm good at. I can do remote viewing. Like I've done Trump before he went to Syria, a week before he went to Syria. I can go into trance and do predictions.
I wanted to ask you something. We have, we have a caller, and I believe actually we have 2 callers, and I know both of them. Can I let them both in?
Yeah, sure.
I know who both of these people are. Okay, now I'm correct. Holly and Sandy, is that you?
I'm here. This is Holly.
Hey.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Hello.
These are 2 regulars. They call in all the time.
Holly and Sandy.
Holly and Sandy.
Hi there.
Yep, I'm Sandy. How are you?
Hi, Sandy. Hi, Holly. I'm Ann.
Hi there. I was just listening to. I thought that was really interesting what we've been talking about.
Feel all the good vibes. Oh, I love it. I can feel the energy.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yes, awesome.
This is so cool because, like, Holly and I earlier today were talking about, like, all the transformations with, you know, the supermoon and the solar flares and all the
Oh, my God, girl. It's insane.
Yep. It's been a
like I went to go plug my aromatherapy thing in, and as I walked up to it, it started by itself. I went to call somebody, and I was thinking about him. A medium that's in Casadega, I do teachings with him now, and he was thinking about me, and all of a sudden he was in meditation, and his Facebook messaging called me on a phone number that he didn't even have on my business phone.
I love things like that.
Wow.
It's totally Mercury retrograde also. So it's like it's
right.
under Mercury retrograde. It's full moon energies. It's really intense.
It's like watching all my clients are calling and they're
mornings,
like whooping ass. I'm like, keep going, right? Because I do prison ministry work and all that. And yeah, man, it's awesome.
What is today? Today's Friday, so it would have been Wednesday morning. Was it Wednesday morning or yesterday? Either way, all the days are the same this week.
3 days before, 3 days after,
I was
right?
Dreaming,
the third day, the most intense.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was just yesterday. It feels like longer ago. But anyhow, I was dreaming. I slept a little bit later than usual in the morning, and I was really, really tired. And I was in a really deep dream state. And I started dreaming about one of my girlfriends. I haven't seen her in over a year, but we're really close friends. So I start dreaming about her, and it was really big. Like I don't remember. I mean, it wasn't significant. But I wake up to my phone blinging, and it's a text message from her. And it says, "Hey, I love you," with a big heart. And I was just dreaming about her. And then I wake up at the same timing. So it was great.
But you know what they're saying? Everybody shift into synchronicity. Everybody's doing telekinesis, like the people that you're really connected to. You know, everybody healing those wounds and going inside. And, you know, you got to remember, you got all these 111 groups, you know what I mean? And the elite of the elite. When you believe in global manifestation, and there's people like you and I and people that can do premonitions and stuff, I mean, we're helping everybody evolve.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I teach this stuff for real.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was that? I didn't understand that part.
Oh, I said I teach on that stuff, like in a collectiveness,
okay.
like in a global groups, like in Asia and Egypt and stuff, you know. When we all get together to raise the vibration, you know, people are just learning and tapping into that higher consciousness, like they were talking about, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes I've been in, like, a group meditation that was, like, global from, like, light workers of the world and different groups like that. And it was, like, the vibrational energy was just amazing.
I do that stuff regularly, so I agree. It just keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah.
I mean, from my experience, it just keeps you, like a frequency, a vibration, you just hit a certain level and then you start operating on that level and things, you know, you start manifesting at a different level, you start connecting to source at a different level, and it just keeps on going.
Sun moving into Aries. Aries is the first sign, and what is Aries? They're like the aggressive, you know, the warriors, the go-getters, the first, you know, the Anunnaki, you know what I'm saying? So since I believe that, you know, the sun, think of it, how they connect the sun with Son of God, sun, the sky, you know, and in a global consciousness moving into Aries. And, you know, with Libra is the sign of balance. So everybody is finding their, you know, dealing with their past and going in their new directions. Like I was saying, you know, like who did you want to be in 2012? And then all the obstacles came, you know what I mean? Like crazy stuff, you know. I almost served 2 life sentences in prison, and I was innocent. I should have been dead. I was walking around with 2.3% blood in my body, and the average person has 14, and your organs should have been shutting down at 5, and I have been running like that for over 7 years. The doctors are all wanting to do tests on me, and I'm telling them, nope, I'm going to take my story because I believe in healing the body like Kelly does, like through the chakras and things. I think that's awesome. You know, the more we teach that, the less we have to teach our kids to put pills and unneeded medication. You know, I can teach a child at birth to just take 3 breathing techniques and they'll deal with trauma. You know what I mean? Instead of pumping them with stuff for anxiety. You know what I mean? As a natural healer, you teach your children, and then you get that DNA moving. The children that are here now are in the 3rd wave. You know what I mean? Yeah, the first wave, those people are in the 60s. They want to get the hell out of here. They're ready to go home. Then you have the doers, and then you have the babies from the doers that are our children from the 20s and the 30s and, you know, into the early 40s. Those guys, their children, they're going to know all the shit that our ancestors, you know, from back in the day, I believe, tried to teach us the right way.
Ah, good.
That's my belief.
That it does, you know, synchronize with, you know, things that I've been noticing. And I don't know, like the teenagers right now, you know, people say that, oh God, what are, you know, these kids into or whatever, but for the most part, the ones that I at least am close to, they're very spiritual, they're very sensitive, they're very caring, they love animals, they love other people. You know, they tend to be somewhat introverted. And some of them are prone to depression. What?
That's the characteristics of the second wave that they talk about. They like to be homebodies. They're the ones in their 20s to their early 40s. You know, they came to just be positive energy. You know what I mean? To just affect others and just be with the flow. You know?
Yeah, I think I might be one of them.
That's the most gentle, I guess, like you're saying, is my belief.
Yeah, I feel like I fit in that group, and then it's kind of difficult with people, like, because I'm 44, and it's hard to find people around my own age that has the same sensitivity and, you know, caring and selflessness. I'm finding it more in younger people.
Right.
But I feel like I'm here to teach and to kind of bridge gap. So,
yep, that's
you know.
The first wave going into the second wave, and that's the same wave I'm in. And you know, and I think that has to do with your sole purpose for being here. You know, because we all had we had a choice to come. You know, I don't know if any of you have had spiritual awakenings or near-death experiences or actual, like, where you know, thought you met Jesus kind of experiences, because everybody evolves differently, you know, but
I've had those.
What would you talk about yours openly or no?
Yeah, I can. Like, I want to say the first one was when my ex-husband beat me up, and when I was trying to leave, and he darn near succeeded in killing me, but I hung on, and it took me 12 years to regain all that I had lost when that happened, because, you know, it affected my brain, it affected my body, you know, all that. But, you know, I divorced him, I prosecuted him, I sued him for medical expenses with the hopes that he would learn something from it and not do it to someone else again, or at least somebody would be forewarned with him having a record to stay away from him if they didn't want that. But now I'm writing a book, you know, and partnering with someone who's got a lot of resources to help women in that situation. And what I experienced then was also a little bit different than a time when I was in a car accident. And I was looking out, you know, I was looking down at my body on the stretcher from the ambulance, and I'm hearing them say, we have no pulse. There's no breathing. Grab the crash cart.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that
I just want to say
that was
Kelly. I don't want to cut in, but I mean, another regular just called in. Can I put him through?
Yeah.
Okay. Go on with your story. Go on with what your story.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is Christopher Wayne Fisher.
Hello,
everyone.
everyone.
Christopher, hey, thanks for calling in, man.
It's weird.
But,
I was just thinking about Christopher, and I was hoping he would call in because all the other people were calling in.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
really cool.
coincidental because I had a question.
Oh, good. Yeah, go ahead. I can finish up with my story in a little bit, but yeah, go ahead.
My
if you have a
apologies,
question.
Kelly.
No, that's no problem. We're having one big party here.
Hey, back on that topic, we were talking about this prior, you know, I was just talking to somebody about trauma and how all that works, you know, when you reach a higher level of, you know, connecting with source, like we were saying, you know, you really do tap in, you know, to your higher intellect. You know, I mean, when you pay attention, you pay attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you don't have any choice. It's like, boom, right there. You know, you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything about this, and I've been having this like over a dozen years. Every once in a while I get dreams like I'm in a place with a lot of snow and mountains and villages. What's weird is I hear this surname a lot. And the person I see is an older guy, but he's tall and heavyset. And the name I hear is Bosco, the last name.
Does he have white hair?
Yes.
I see him. Wow, hang on. I just saw Scotland though. Hang on. I'm a visionary, so I go straight into trance when people give me this stuff.
So
I see him with something
big
and really like furry on his back. Like a piece of something covering him.
Mhm.
It's either brown or black, like a dark brown, like a chocolate, or black. Like he wears it. It looks like fur, but it's like warm. I see his hair. He's got silver hair, long hair.
It made me. I ended up researching where that surname came from.
Where did you get?
Switzerland and southern France and northwestern Italy.
Nice.
Well, they have mountains there, don't they?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That area is among the highest mountains in the world, the Alps.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you believe he lived there? I believe he lived there.
Oh, wow.
And it was coincidental. I was telling Kelly I had video confirmation of a palace in that region. It matched the dream exactly that I had, a palace further south of the Riviera.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yes. So
well, they say...
Is it someone I will be seeing in the future?
Well, they say that dreams, the details, is reenaction in life is your reenaction of partnership. Your meaning of your dreams are areas of ways of working out your carnation now through your thoughts and feelings that you have to deal with. So when that dream keeps coming to you, you should pay attention to what's going on in your life, like your feelings and thoughts, and, deal with the dream. Because when you have it, it's because you're ready to deal with something that you have been feeling, and you're ready to, like your purpose for being here. That dream is a connect. It's a way of working out, letting you go. Like it helps. It's a bridge to the life for why you're here. A feeling in a dream is a bridge to your life through triggers, okay? Things that trigger you, that you came here, like some people say, incarnate for karma, to work through. So when you're dealing with that dream or when you're having it, take a good look, right when you have it, sit up and say, okay, my thoughts and feelings are this. What in my life right now, if I was to say I carnated and came here for maybe a karma reason or my purpose for being here, what am I doing here? Because that is a part of your sense. You know what I mean? That you are here to work out.
That
you know
area,
what I mean?
Yeah, that area feels like home to me, that region.
Right, and you got to know that because we were
I feel
all
like
just
I want to go there.
Like Holly and Sandy, we were just saying about people shifting to 5D consciousness. If you're having these dreams now, it means you're ready to evolve, to realize your purpose, your soul purpose for being here. You know what I mean? Because everybody in your life you have past relations with, okay? Imagine Earth like a school, okay? And we come here, to learn what we needed to learn so we can evolve to higher realms, I would say. I don't know if Sandy, do you and Holly agree upon the same?
Yep. I absolutely agree with that.
But Holly's here.
Wow.
I do agree with that. Yep. Absolutely.
It's weird. I feel like I'm going to be over there physically in a future time.
It's very possible.
Well, they're talking about ascension. Remember, you guys, ascension time. So believe it. If you believe it, it manifests. That's karmic law. Yeah, yeah. And get ready to rock the room. You're going to go meet him. Beat me up, Scotty.
I'm saying.
Wow.
How long have you been having the dream?
More than actually over almost 20 years, and I had dreams about being in that region. I got coats of arms and even been real places. I thought they weren't real at first, but then I started researching.
Maybe your soul traveled there. Maybe your soul traveled there previously. Just a thought, a possibility, and this is your chance to kind of follow that and fulfill it.
And also, I found out that's where my family roots are from.
Well, you talk about astral travel, and we all astral travel when we sleep. People that come back, that have, where they come back and they think that their bodies are paralyzed, and what's really happened is they just haven't, returned back to their bodies. So that could be someplace that you astral travel, like another galaxy. People, this is stuff that's more advanced teaching that only like a small, 52% of people want to even believe in, like aliens, But you guys, you know what I'm talking about, you guys? You guys know
I've
what I'm
done it. Yeah. I mean, I can't
maybe.
do it on command, but yeah.
I
I've
also found out recently that's my region of ancestry.
I think that's awesome.
Which is coincidental.
I mean,
it's like we should do a whole show on Christopher because he's really interested in all these things, right?
Mhm.
I mean, we could totally do a show just like on your experiences because I mean, I know with my experiences,
right. I love the open-mindedness of this conversation, by the way. And I just, I'm not sure if I can stay on here real long, but I've enjoyed it, and I really like the open-mindedness of this because it's things that not everybody talks about, I think.
Yeah.
And so when you find people who have similar experiences, then they're more willing to open up because, it's like a common feeling. Would you agree with that?
I totally agree. Yeah, because I was afraid to talk about my story because I thought, God, people are going to think I'm nuts.
Right. Oh, me too. People think I'm nuts all the time, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Kelly, it's actually kind of funny. It wasn't until that day, I'll never forget it. Did you want me to get back to Myra?
Wow.
No.
You said the word co-host. Woo!
Yes.
I have a feeling, if I'm right on this, I'm going to do some root work, and I'm going to figure out if I have any. I know I have a couple living relatives there. I think I have a feeling I need to visit that area.
You never know. It may lead you to something else, or
Yeah.
Well, right now,
if that's your feeling.
Mhm.
Talking about the spring equinox, though, and moving into Aries, that's like, going in to find your inner self. So, that's also applying just going with your, doing inner work. And as you evolve and start to work on yourself and just go with the flow, just expect it to happen in the right timing. Don't feel like an urgency to do anything except for just be,
Right.
And
I've been having to remind myself of that.
Me too.
Yeah, one of my ley lines is Aries is right over that region too, which is weird. I do astrological work too.
Wow.
This is interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I think with Mercury retrograde coming to a close, and a couple, the equinox and just a couple different aspects, I think that a lot of people are seeing items come to light that maybe, I was talking about this with Kelly earlier, just different things that maybe you weren't aware all of the facts on, different things on personal levels, all kinds of levels. It's like all of a sudden with the full moon, it was a very emotional full moon, and all of these things are coming to light for so many people. So it's kind of like the inner work that you were talking about. It's been a little bit deeper soul level work, I think, for a lot of people, at least around me, that I've noticed. For me personally, anyhow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, well, we have
like for me.
caller. I'm gonna go. We have another
thank
caller.
you, guys.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, caller 323 area code. Is this who I was? Is this your name is Kitra, right?
Yeah, Keitra, this is me.
Yeah, hi. This is Kitra. I wanted you to meet Kelly. Kelly, I told Kitra about you and about the soccer days, and she seemed all interested. So.
Very cool.
Do you have any
Hi.
questions for the?
Yes.
We're just a bunch of people talking, and a bunch of people. I was wondering if you. I think we're covering everything: angels, past lives. You know, you said that you were interested in a lot of that stuff. Is that true?
We can talk chakras if you have questions. I'm sure all of us have enough knowledge on it if you have questions.
Yeah. Well, actually, a couple months ago, I just really got into all this. I kind of was reading up on some stuff, and I just felt like my third eye was opening. I never knew what that meant. And then I started looking it up, and I started just seeing natural occurrences and the universe talking to me and so much stuff. And then I went to this store. It's in LA. I forget what it's called, but it's right on Melrose. You can go in there and get all your stuff for cleansing, chakra stuff and crystals and stuff. So I went in there and I got some sage, a package for money and abundance to cleanse my room. I tried that, and I'm just really interested to see what else is out there, what I could do.
Oh, how cool.
Yay.
We like open-minded people.
Yeah, well, you know the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will show. So, you were guided there for a purpose because you were ready. When you start to tap in, I don't know if you've ever heard about, the Kundalini. If people have Kundalini experiences, I had a really, really cool, I'm going to write a book about it. So basically, if you you should check into some of those meditations. You can actually find them on YouTube, and just go sit quietly and start off. It's very, very powerful, the Kundalini meditations. So start off with a beginner's one, and it'll basically it'll open your third eye. Help you tap into all that. But you got to remember, the key is also to stay grounded and stay with purity. You can't be purity without producing it. Eating that way, thinking that way.
I've been doing the same thing. I've been eating right, and it's crazy. Ever since I've noticed it, it's just made me want to do those things more.
Well, be very aware right now about your words and what
you're becoming more aware of yourself.
You're
becoming more aware of yourself, and the more you become aware, the more you're going to continue that.
And then something. Well, actually, I just moved to California about 2 months ago, and before that. Something, just told me to come. I've been in Texas for so long, and it's just I don't know, just the universe has been lining stuff up with me. And then when I got here, somebody just telling me, you need to go talk to a psychic. So I went and talked to a psychic, and she basically just told me everything, that was going on with my life, and she just met me, a second ago. She didn't know who I was, but she told me, everything. And
those
she was
divine appointments.
Yeah,
they're the
it
good
was.
Yeah.
She was like, something sent you here. She said, you didn't just randomly call me. She said, something sent you here. And I was like, you're absolutely right, and it was. She told me everything. So, I'm really into this now. And I would definitely like another reading. Soon.
Very cool, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of psychics on here. I know Anne.
I'm not into any. I'm actually probably gonna end this call with you guys because I have some other stuff to tend to.
Oh, well, thanks for coming on.
I won't be of help for that, but I will call back in a bit if I'm able to. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy, guys.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye. Yep, bye.
But Anne, I had never even met her before this show, and she was telling me things about myself that about made my jaw drop. So
wow.
You're in it right
here. thehealingpath.com, and I can give you my phone number. I'll share it if anybody wants it. It's 407-576-5563. And you can book an appointment or schedule me for speaking, or I do prison work and stuff as well.
Okay, can you repeat your number again?
It's 407-576-5563, or you can email me at posleranna@gmail.com.
Okay, I got you.
And I have a website, thehealingpath.com. And either way, you can connect with me, and I'll be able to help you, or anybody here as well. You can get the information from Johnny if you would like.
Okay, I would love to.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Holly and Sandy.
Does Facebook work for you too?
Yeah, my name on Facebook is Anne Van, capital VAN, and then capital IERLAND.
Oh, thank you.
And I do
I'm on that.
and meditations, and just send me a message on Facebook and just remind me that you're from the show, and I will send you some real good Kundalini meditations, okay, to get you started.
Oh, yes, I would love to. Wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for calling in. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate
and
it.
if you'd like a chakra cleanse, we can hook that up through Johnny, and he schedules things, and I do those.
Okay.
And I do a little bit of
cleanse.
reading with it too. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it different types of cleanses, or what? How does that work?
Well, for me, it's like I go through chakra by chakra, and those are linked to different emotional states and different, like body regions and organs, and I get a sense of what's happening with each one, and I get sometimes visions. I feel a lot of emotions come up with each one, and then I can help sort through those with you. And I don't say anything too personal on the air. It's like, it's because I don't want people uncomfortable, but so, but if you wanted to talk after the show or whatever, like if we did a chakra cleansing show, then I could go into more specific detail on personal things. But I can, if somebody's got a stomach ache, I can feel it. I can, advise diet, exercise, cleansing, whatever, but I tell people I'm not a doctor, but if I'm picking up on something that feels funky, I'll be like, you might want to get that checked out by one.
And then they do, and they're like, you were so right.
Yeah, I've had that happen, and it's like I'm just starting to get used to having that happen because I was brought up where you don't tap into this because if we don't know it's coming from God, then you don't play with it, so.
Exactly, but the universe is crazy.
Where everybody's using the gifts from your ancestors. When the Mayans said it was the return of our ancestors and that those were ready to tap into that, those that will listen will listen. You are that from the root, you know what I mean? Like I am, and, like everybody here that's got a passion for it or a desire to learn, you're a part of, that's your roots, your DNA. It's time for you to evolve and be the teacher that you came here to be and help others evolve, all of us.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. And I know some people run from it. They don't want to know about it, and they're not ready.
They're like, oh, it's not true,
That are still sleeping. Yeah.
I think you have to have something happen to you first, and then you're like, okay.
Exactly. Like, okay, so what's next? Yeah, because, when you have something happen, you're like, okay, well, I hurdle. I didn't know I could, survive and end up thriving and finding strength.
Is if you teach somebody about the simple basics, of quantum physics and law of attraction, they would see from the beginning, because I do this in prison ministry work, because they're easy. They're all there wanting to get out of jail and not want to go to jail, so they're in the opinion anyways. But when you can really when you're really at that time when you're really ready to learn and evolve, it's when it's the hardest, okay? Because when you're ready to own your own shit, because that's how I have to talk to those people, you're here for a reason, okay?
Right.
So when you're ready to get real with you, that's the only time you're going to evolve. Because until then, you're just kicking the karma ball around and wanting a bigger lesson. You know what I mean?
So right.
You know what I mean? So you got to watch. If you see somebody about law of attraction, you mean every single thing in your life, I don't give a shit what it is. You asked for it to happen by your own free will. You invited it, and it manifests. Right. That's law of attraction. I teach manifestation, and I have credentials on them.
I was just about to talk about that. I was driving one night, and this is crazy. This is like one of my points that I just still believed in, like the universe. I was just manifesting. I always do this. Like I'll just be talking about things I want, or things that I want to happen out loud, and talking to the universe. And as soon as I did that, 11:11, it popped up on my screen while I was driving, and then a falling star came down at the same time while I was saying that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys see what she said? That's synchronicity of 3. That's confirmation that your spirit guides are working with you to tell you, hey, pay attention. We're right here, okay?
Right.
And people who are in these 111 these global groups, I teach specifically on what you're talking about. I had I had the same thing, okay? But I learned it when I was little. When my mom taught me these teachings when I was little. And she said, Ann, I want to teach you something. A true story. She said, I was praying. I told God I was upset. And I said, I feel like I'm your stepchild. And she said she heard a voice say that she wasn't the stepchild. And she said, well, I want pink pantyhose for my daughter. And then the next day, the man, my dad walks in, okay, and he throws on the kitchen table like 10 pairs of pink pantyhose and says, here, I found these. And, but listen, girl, same thing here, okay? Here I am. I'm a single mom. I'm a widow. My first husband used to play Russian roulette with me. You want to talk about trying to reach God. And so every time, and I was 3 months pregnant with my daughter the first time he started playing Russian roulette with me. Okay, so when you go to that source, okay, and you realize your higher self, that why you came here is to talk and teach the younger youth about your story, your testimony, about your 11/11 situation and the shooting star, because your little story that's little, that you say, hey, it's big to you, but it can be even bigger to somebody that's learning a life lesson, just like I learned my life lesson, okay? In that experience, I had a situation, and, being a single mom, I didn't have the finer things at times, and a lot of stuff happened to me. And I said, God, you know what? And it was bike week, and I was just like, you know what? I wanted to cut it up with my girlfriends. We're all real, And I said, God, you know what? And I was doing a study on manifestation because I teach on this, and so I was doing my own manifestation. And I said I wanted a pair of black boots, but some really nice ones. And I said, you know what? I really need a nice new wallet. And I'm actually sitting in the exact same place that I prayed for him, girl, okay?
Wow.
Listen to this. 3 days later, the story is actually on my Facebook. 3 days later, I have a YouTube video, actually, I'll send you. I made a video on it. 3 days later, this door right here I'm going to tap on. Somebody knocked on that door, and they said, hey, I have a gift for you. And they handed me black leather boots with steel tip toes on them. And they said, hey, I also have something else for you. And it was an alligator wallet. And I wanted, not only just did I want a wallet, but a fine wallet. It was made of alligator skin, and it had all these little compartments that I imagined in my vision. 3 days later. See, Spirit will use the number 3 because 3 is completion. All right?
I wanted to jump in a little bit. We have a caller. We have a caller that I want to include into this discussion. Give me 1 second here. Are you code 770?
I'll teach you some techniques on manifestation. I'll send you some videos and show you some tools. Real easy to do. Yeah.
Please.
Thank you. Area code 770. Are you there?
I am here. I love the story.
Awesome. Welcome.
Oh, wow. I like that. Yes. That happened to me once. I was in the farmer's market, and I walk past the seafood and the flasher. I would love to have shrimp, but you know how you go on and you don't think about it, and when you get home, you're putting your groceries away, and there's shrimp and other stuff, and I say, how did that happen? And what happened is that I didn't buy shrimp. Obviously, someone left their bag behind, and the cashier gave me all the bags.
Oh wow!
So I
even ready for that experience. You know, not everybody would understand it, but it's nice that you can come to a place like this and talk freely. And because it is very difficult. That's one of the reasons why I have my website, is because people, when they have spiritual awakenings, or even when just, you know, that's cool if that happened, you know. But when there's people that are in trauma, for example, and their families don't understand because everybody has their own lives, sometimes they don't have people to reach out to, and it's nice that people like you feel open to call, and there's people like us that can help people, you know. Like we were talking, now is the time to take those things that you know and realize that that's a gift, a God-given gift to you from your spirit guide. Your purpose for being here is to share that story. You know what I mean? To teach people here.
Yes. I've shared it with a few friends, and that's about it, you know. And I can tell a few other stories too, but I won't hold you up with that. But who's reading chakras? Who's is in a? Because I haven't been on that long. I haven't been listening that long.
That's Kelly.
Someone.
She's our chakra lady.
Reading chakras.
She does the chakra days.
Yeah, I do chakra days. Anne's also very versed in it too. But I do the chakra days on the show. So yeah, you know, feel free to set one up with Jonathan, because I love doing that. I love working with people, helping people. So
would you read them online? I mean, would you read them on air if we didn't mind, or how do you do that?
We can do it on air. That's usually how I do it, but I don't say anything too personal. Like I save that for like after the show, if there's something that I feel is kind of personal that I need to tell someone. I'll be like, hey, can you hang on after the show because there's something more that, you know, and then.
No, I would also like to. I'd like to add. I showed this to Anne, and she rather enjoyed it. We have a thing called Blue Jeans, which is a video software. We can have 75
this is
people
awesome,
on all
you guys. You got to do this.
Woohoo! Thank you. Yeah.
Anne really liked it, and
tripod for my camera.
I was just wondering, you know, it might make the connections more stronger if the other person is seeing. This, so you know, it's a suggestion. The first time I had my chakras done with Kelly, it was like I didn't understand what on earth they were talking about. Medallions and pendulums and everything. What is they talking about? But I mean, it just didn't make any sense to me. Now it's just sort of, you know, it just seems like now it's just been, Kelly has been a blessing from God. I mean, she's
thank you.
Basically, you know, I mean, since she's been on, it's like, it's just so neat to have her on and have her like, well, you know, I mean, you know, now the shows are regular. We're getting lots of callers. It's neat. So
that is very neat. My mom actually, she wants to get on as well. She's the one like really got me into the kind of like looking into the chakras and meditation. Like she would do it, but I'm telling y'all, like she's the type. I don't know what it is. Like it's not following her. Like if she still has like some negative around her to still like, because she would do all this like meditate and everything, but it's just everything is still just bad happening for her.
Are you saying when your mom wants to come on, are you saying you told her about the show?
No, I haven't told. Well, yeah, I told her that I was going to call in, but like before that, you know, it's just that's what she's been going through. And I told her yesterday when we got the phone that this was available, and she was like, "Oh my God, I would love to get on there," you know. And
let me tell you a guest I've had on.
That's the teachings I do as far as like cleansing karmas and stuff too. Like you gotta remember, everything that's in your path, you invite. So like if you have drama in your life, imagine if you're talking to somebody and they have, you know, you have your angel guide, your spirit guide, the one that's assigned to you when you incarnate, and then you have the source of, we'll say some believe in ET, some don't, some believe in entity, you know, sources. You have the other stuff that's around you that wants to distract you, okay? And everybody has their own demons, as they say, right? So, like, if you put people that aren't, you know, of purity around you by your own free will, like your mom, you know, people that have a more mellow life or that don't have drama, it's because they're more aware of where they spread their energy and who they interact with. You know, like if you're talking to somebody and you know that you get a bad vibe, you know your higher conscious tells you that, but you still choose to entertain it, you're doing what? You're entertaining it. See, wisdom knows better. They lay low. You know what I mean? You got to learn to lay low to stay clean and pure.
And I think that's exactly her problem. Like, it's just the negative. Like, she can't get away from the negative energy, but she wants to bring positive into her life, but she can't. It's like she just can't get rid of that negative. I don't know what it is. I think y'all should talk to her.
Well, I've found too that, you know, it can be ancestral in our DNA. Like traumas get passed down and through the generations until
they call them in religion generational curses, right?
Yeah. Until someone's able to face it, walk through it, become, you know, baptized by fire, whatever you want to look at it like, and cleanse themselves of it. Then it goes back generationally and heals the people that were affected by it as well.
Wow. That's cool. You guys, you know what also might be good for your mom is a water meditation, because water has memory. Well, he's no longer with us. He's in spirit now, but I've done studies with him. He's a friend of mine on Facebook if you look me up. But look up his studies. He does studies on spirit of water and stuff. He's a Japanese scientist, and he dedicated his life to science and about the vibration of water and healing, okay? So if your body is made of 80% water and you're drinking it and you're vibrating and you're speaking it, if water has memory and is like energy, right? And it helps manifest a cleansing through your body. You can do cleansings like water cleansings. Like it's like a water baptism, but for yourself. You can actually, you know, go into prayer. I do this all the time. Like when I want to change, if I get around people and I don't like their energy, like no offense, you know, I go to the gym and I can feel the energy of the men, the testosterone and stuff. Or if I'm out and about, I want to come home and just get away from that energy quickly. I'll just pray about it or meditate on it, even if it's 5 minutes. My higher source knows what I'm doing. And when you get in water, like in a bathtub, you're putting that vibration into the water. And it's kind of like, you know, in the Bible, you know, they talk about baptism coming up new, you know. If water is like Dr. Emoto teaches, you can look him up. You know, he's globally known. And it says basically that it helps work with your body. Look at it like that, okay? And it helps put the so if water has memory, okay, and it puts out the same frequency of what you're wanting to manifest, and you're made of 80% water, okay, and let's say like you drink water, even when you're in the water, you're actually putting that into your body to manifest. So look at it like if you want a cleansing of purity, of health, of cancer, of any sickness, it has to manifest. See, people need to learn about quantum physics and law of attraction, and they would nail this.
And
vibrational frequencies. You know, everybody, Holly, Sandy, Kelly, you got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, vibrational frequencies. That study, I remember that one. He would label a cup of water a negative word and a positive word on the next one, and they were the same water in two different cups. When
I'm personally friends with him. I did a 5-day study with him here in Florida. I know who he, it's true.
And when it was frozen, the one with the negative word on it froze all these weird, it wasn't a pattern, it was just weird. And then the other one that had the positive word ended up freezing in beautiful, like, you know, snowflake patterns.
Wow.
Like love, joy, because you got to remember when you speak it, like he did it like if you had a bottle of water and on the outside you put on like a white piece of paper or just write it with a marker, love. And as you're writing LOVE, love, each one of those letters has a vibration and a frequency. It's no different than in the Bible. Like, you know how there's a big deal about the Last Supper? If you look at all the hands and the motion and where the bread is and all that, it actually plays a melody like the what is it, like that movie they call The Close Encounters of the Third Kind or something, that one movie. But it plays a hen. It plays a tone, right? Well, it's the same thing with love, joy. You think about it. If someone's angry, their vibration, what do you feel? You know, if someone's loving, you feel that what? Loving vibration. Now, if you speak it, write it on the Bible, because you're writing it, you're putting more emphasis into manifestation. The more you put into something to manifest, the more you vibrate at that, because see, energy doesn't know good or bad. It just knows the flow in the vibration you're putting in there. So you can say, hey, I'm going to do this, and I got this. But the minute you put doubt, if you're vibrating at that high frequency, you're going to make something negative happen because you altered the thought right in the middle of the manifestation. People don't realize that. They bring their own shit into their life that way. You ever say, like, I'm cool, I'm not going to get a ticket, You got a cop behind you, and the first second you doubt it, the next thing you know, woo, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, I knew it. All you did was switch the manifestation. That's law of attraction. You get it?
I believe we have. I believe we have another caller. Somebody put this person through.
Cool.
Okay, 775 area code. You're on the air.
Hi, 775. Welcome.
Hello. Let's see. It is 775 area code. This person's on the air. Are you there? Maybe they're on mute or something. I don't know.
Oh, could be they're just listening. But that's totally true. Like things, if I was fearing something, it's almost like I created it happening, even though I didn't want it to.
You do.
Well, it's true. You think everybody has their own level of consciousness, right? And no two people think the same, right? Like if I looked at a flower and you looked at the same flower, we would have our own manifestation of it, right?
Right.
Okay. So look at that in a collectiveness. You know what I'm saying? So as you see things, you can manifest and have anything you want, but you have to know how to use manifestation tools, and they're very, very simple. It's just basically like religion called it witchcraft, but it's really not. Science calls it law of attraction, and it has to manifest. No matter what you say, you put it out there. That's how they say, you can heal your body. We were just talking about this. My blood, I went to the hospital, and I was walking around with 2.3% blood. I should have been dead. My organs should have started shutting down at 5. Okay, and I can run 3 days with, like, high speed, okay? The day that they told me to get to the ER room, I was on my roof on a second-story house with an extended chainsaw, barefoot, cutting my tree, and I'm 103 pounds. And they said I should have been dead. And I had been running like that for almost 7 years. So I teach healing the body through prayer and meditation. Okay, you got to believe that what you speak manifests, and when you learn the power of your words, you cannot rethink what you know, because your Creator gave you the ability to see these things. That comes with that's a privilege. That's a gift, girl. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? And it's a tool that your source said that you're ready to use. So you have to be when you know that you can manifest things, you got to realize that you can use that to your advantage, or you can use that to hurt yourself. Because when you realize the power in that, you can start fires. I know, because listen, I'm going to write a book on that. I put my playhouse on fire. Yeah, trust me. I'm going to write. We have to do a show on that one. That's going to be a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, no, there was a fire in my neighborhood. Lightning hit a tree, and a girl was renting a room from me, and she was a waitress at the table for the firefighters. They got a call, or they heard lightning hit. Bam! And where we live, they hadn't seen a storm like this since the 80s, they said. And long story short, she was renting from me, waiting on the firefighters that were going to come to the house. And at that time, I was having hard troubles. I had 2 children, and one just got married. My husband was doing his thing and wasn't in the picture, and I had to make house payments. I had no car, no job. and I was like praying, right? And when I go into prayer and meditation, God always gives me a vision of me sliding into home base. And when he shows me that, I know shit's about to get real because I've been seeing this since I was 7. So I was sitting there, and I didn't know what was going to happen that day, but I knew something was going to happen, right? So I'm laying in bed because I'm up till like 4 or 5 in the morning because I do global work and stuff. And so I sat up, and I was in my bed, and it was like 111 or 333, one of the numbers that we see all the time, it's one that I pay attention to. And I really wasn't thinking about it at the time, and I heard a big bam, and I didn't think anything of it, but it was like lightning hit something, right? And I thought, wow, that's crazy. And when I looked at the clock, it was synchronicity, okay? And so I said, you know what, I'm going to go take a bubble bath. And so I get in my bathtub, okay? That morning I found myself sliding into home base. And I open a window next to my bathtub that I never open, okay? And all of a sudden, I smell cardboard, and I see smoke. And I'm like, holy shit, what is this? So I'm naked. I run to my backyard, and in between I see a big, huge rainstorm, but it is right above my house in my backyard. And one tree is the whole 2 trees are on fire, and in the middle is my playhouse on fire, okay? And inside it, we used it for storage for all our like stuff, okay? And I'm an artist, so all my art things were in there. And the next thing I know, so I run next door to the neighbor. We call 911 and all this. I have a renter that lived with me at the time, and she's waiting on a table, and they're firefighters, and they heard the crack that I heard before I got in the bathtub, right? And they said, oh, we're going to get a call here because something's on fire. And the next thing I know, my renter comes home, and she's like, wow, I was just waiting on the table for the firefighters. They should be here any minute now. And literally, when they came, listen, this gets crazy. Wait till you hear this. I got pictures of this. So this is what happened. So the firefighter, they're putting out the fire, and I'm watching this, right? So one big tree is on fire. In the middle, there's rain, then there's the fire and the playhouse, and then there's rain, and then there's my house, okay? And literally, like, not even one step away is my house. My house did not catch fire because of the rain, how heavy it was coming down. And the firefighter sat back, and he said to me, wow. He said, I've never seen anything like this before. He said, but isn't it cool how this band of water is keeping your house safe? And I thought, holy moly, right? So listen, so after they get all the fire out, right, we're sitting out back, and we're all in shock, right? And I'm sitting there, and we noticed that there is a plastic angel, a cherub sitting with her elbows, sitting with her knees crossed with her elbows, sitting that wasn't touched by the fire. She's plastic. And the whole fire burnt to the ground, everything except for that plastic cherub sitting there in front of the fire.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
So check this out. So I'm like, I got to call my insurance agency, right? I call my insurance agency. The lady shows up, and she says, what did you have in there? I said, well, I don't know how to do computers and all this, She says, well, make a list of all the things you had in there and what the prices were, and give me the list, and I'll reimburse it. $23,000, ladies.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, it gets better. Then she tells me, if you forgot anything, you have up to 8 weeks to give me another list.
Oh.
Okay. I made $26,000 out of a fire that was in my backyard. And that is faith and knowing that your creator, if you pay attention to what your spirit guides show you and you don't get blinded, because it's just like they teach you when people that go to church, okay? Church is a beautiful thing. And it is a good way to connect because you're wanting answers, okay? But people that have had real spiritual awakenings, we don't talk about the truth of what happens when you have an awakening. That is something that people will start probably talking more about in probably, I would say, in about a year or two, because That's teachings that maybe Holly and Sandy are more on the level of, when we talk about what really happens. There's a reason why religion is very, very important. But when you start to talk about ETs and about where you're really from and your roots, you got to believe that you have to have some kind of faith to knock on the door to your true essence, okay? And we'll just leave it at that. You know what I'm talking about, girl?
No, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So pay attention to everything right now. Like we were just saying, about the solar flares, okay? Imagine if up there, okay, let's talk about what elements are coming down from what the flares, what's going on with the sun, okay? It's throwing off stuff, okay? Bands, let's say. And as those bands of elements, let's call them, come down to the surface, okay, with rain and moisture, it is shifting people's consciousness. It's no different than right now. You see how the season changes and how all the trees are blossoming and everything is new. People are shifting into higher consciousness because of these solar flares. People, you're going to notice that you're going to be thinking of somebody and they're going to call you. Or let's say you wanted some chocolate pie. All of a sudden someone's going to show up with chocolate pie. A lot of people are going to start tapping into their higher consciousness. And what's going to happen is you can alter your DNA and alter the DNA of your children by what you teach them, feed them, the vibration you put off on them. It's no different than having parents that are very nurturing.
Right.
Or someone that's very violent. Whatever energy pool you're around, you're either going to look for people to learn from, You have a choice to be the victim or the victor,
And that's exactly what I was going through before I left Texas. Literally everybody that was around me was so negative. And I don't even want to just exaggerate. It was to the point where you just wanted to just run. It's just, because when you're just a positive person, and you just you don't look for negativity. You don't walk out just looking for that. But people every day, they have to just bring it to you. You don't have to be around that. You can separate yourself from that. And that's what I
Well, here's a good lesson in law of attraction. You noticed it. You were aware of it. Imagine you opened your third eye and you saw that. And you said, I want change. And the universe has a funny way of dropping things in your lap. That's manifestation. And look where you are. And you did what? You healed yourself. You raised your consciousness by evolving and realizing, you tapped into your higher consciousness. Right now, you're gonna boom until the middle of April 15th. Watch where your life is now. If you stay on the flow of consciousness and what you're doing right now, watch. By April 15th, I bet you something huge falls in your lap. I see it.
Thank you. I will see you.
I think it's money. Actually, I see money.
Okay.
Damn.
I will love it. That's exactly what I need.
Yep.
Wow.
I pulled my pendulum out, girls.
Oh, really?
She got you. She got you back.
I have three of them here, whichever one I feel like using.
Wow.
Amazing. Yes, I've been feeling that too. I feel like something's going to happen the way that I'm, just letting everything flow to me. I'm not stopping nothing. I'm letting everything flow, and that's been happening right for me. I moved to LA. I got a job. I did everything that I said I was going to do, and I just let it flow,
Yep, as long as what I would say, if anything, when you start to notice these shifts of wow, things are feeling really, really good, right? I would say if you start to feel, I don't know, like they were talking, like Kelly does, balancing of the chakras, you might want to set something up with her because she could probably give you some real good grounding tools. Because see, what happens is that sometimes when you put something really heavy out to the universe and you're ready, that vibration, the universe has a funny way of just making things happen. And the more you want it to happen, the faster it'll manifest. And what Kelly can teach you to do is when that energy comes towards you, she can teach you how to balance your chakras so you stay grounded. Like where you're off. Like let's say you need to be verbal. She can teach you how to work with your throat chakra. You know what I'm saying? Or like if you want to be heard, what colors to wear to attract, you know, the energy you want to put out there. Kelly can show, teach you those tools really well. She's more in tune with that, with the healings with that stuff, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I have a problem with that. Like communication, I feel like that's wrong. Like my throat chakra is off. Like I feel like I can't communicate the things that I'm thinking, like the things that I want to say. I can't say it like right. Like it's hard for me, and I feel like that's one of my problems.
Yeah, we can work on that. That's kind of common. Like I'm not tapped into. I'm not. Yeah, I think it's part with the throat chakra. Some people they have trouble verbalizing because they're afraid they're going to offend somebody, so they're afraid to say what they really feel, or they're afraid of like negative feedback, or things like that, or they don't want to overstep. But without tapping in, I can't really guess what it is, but yeah, I mean, people have that kind of closed off for different reasons, and sometimes it can be like as simple as just needing an energy shift and that to get opened, and then you're able to use it better and easier. But sometimes we have experiences and things like that help close them off until we can tap into them again. And yeah,
hey,
and there's
I'll throw one out there just for the fun of it. Can I say something? If all else fails, girl, use a beginner's crown chakra meditation and go for it. I mean, like if you feel like you're in a situation where you're like, I don't know if I'm grounded or not, you can find them on YouTube. Don't do like an advanced one or nothing that's like a Kundalini one, but just do something to tap into your higher conscious, like maybe a 15-minute meditation, and just take on what you feel you need to. If you feel like you're not grounded, at least you know that you're tapping in, to you're letting your guides and everything know, and you're putting the vibration in for higher consciousness. You know what I'm saying? You're wanting answers, and you actually went into meditation for it. And things come in three. So prayer, meditation, and manifestation. You see?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. We have another caller. Let's.
Oh, cool. Yeah, welcome aboard.
Okay. 956 area code. Are you there?
Yes, hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Hello
Hi,
there.
welcome to the show.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Sounds like someone's got a little baby.
No, I had you on speaker.
Aw. Something Anne had mentioned earlier about water cleansing. I find it helpful to get grounded or shake off negative energy when I take a bath with Epsom salts and like a carrier oil, like you can use vanilla. I mean, you can use a carrier oil.
Patchouli.
Yeah. And like put it in like an oil, like coconut oil or almond oil, something like that. And it moisturizes, but it also lifts out toxins and it lifts out negative energy. And if you don't have time for a soak, I've read that you can do a quick shower with some Epsom salts or Epsom salts in your favorite soap, and that'll do like the same cleansing type thing. But I find it really helpful.
Okay. And you can put a little bit of, they say baking soda, like a half a teaspoon, isn't it, or something like that, for to pull out toxics and stuff, right?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I do. Sometimes I'll put that in with the Epsom salt. But, your body also absorbs magnesium from the Epsom salts, and we don't usually get enough of that in our diet. But we can absorb it through our skin, so that helps to calm us and balance us too.
And also, like I hear a baby, you can use like homeopathic. I believe in healing the body with element, or with tools of nature and, lavender, like, what she's talking about and what Kelly's talking about, tools used. But there's something out there that you can pick up or order online. It's called patchouli, and you can burn it as an incense. You can use it as an oil. But, like, I put it on my grandson, like, when he comes to visit, like, if he's real hyper, and I'll just rub a little bit on his forehead, and the smell of it, it's soothing. It's very, very potent, and you can get it real expensive from a botanical or whatever, or order it online, but it's called patchouli. Or like, let's say you have somebody coming over and they have high energy and you want them to be more mellow around you, or even yourself, if you're very chatty and you want to be more mellow, if you rub a little patchouli oil on you where you can smell it, it'll mellow you out. True story. My husband, sometimes, like if you want to have that nice conversation, it's like aromatherapy, the aroma for your baby will soothe your baby even. It just changes it changes the elements. It's alchemy. It changes the elements in the room,
Yeah.
Like lavender does. Same thing, but patchouli oil is more potent, in my opinion.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. So the new caller, what was your name?
My name is Wendy from Sacramento.
Wendy.
Oh, hi, Wendy. Did you have a question for Ann today?
Not at the moment, but it was a blessing to hear that you can take a shower with Epsom salts, because I have something going on with my back for quite a while, and I love to take baths, but I can't get myself out of the tub. So, that's helpful.
Okay. Yeah,
you know what you
can
do?
Yeah.
I just thought of something. You ever see those salt lamps that you buy and you can plug them in? They're real expensive. They even have them in night lights. I have them all over my house, and you can feel them. They will actually help you. You should invest in one and put them where you spend your time. Especially if there's water, okay? Because, they are great for the energy in the room. Or plants. There's lots of plants that you can get. You can look online to see which ones are good for certain things, and you can actually walk into the room, and the aroma from the plants along with the salt lamp, it's just the alchemy in the room will change the atmosphere and change, you got to remember your skin absorbs what's in the air, you know what I mean? And those heat lamps, it melts the salt, you know what I'm saying? So it's diffusing it into the air. You know what I mean?
That's very interesting, yeah.
Oh.
So, and they come in different kinds. You can get the white ones or the orange ones. I would pick, what I'm funny about is I pick mine personally because they have to appeal to me. Like, they have to have a personal feel to me. So when you pick one out, look at them because they all will look different. And the one that you feel most connected to, you're going to get the most effects from. Also, because you're consciously believing that, you're already planting the seeds of manifestation because you handpicked it. You know what I mean? You're raising the vibration alone by just doing the footwork to make something manifest. You got to remember, it's like anything. The more you put into something, the more you get out of it, no matter what it is. You know?
I find that true with candles and colors and gemstones and scents.
Hey,
and
ladies.
Plants, of course,
This is Keisha.
Yes.
I just got home. I'm about to get ready for tonight. So thank you guys for the call. I really enjoyed being on.
Oh, thank you. Just if you want to have a chakra day, or if your mom does, feel free to give Jonathan a call. We can set it up.
Okay, for sure. We're going to do it as soon as possible.
Okay, cool. I look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good night.
All
Thanks,
right.
you too.
You too. Good.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Wendy, Anne is also psychic. Do you have any questions for her?
Oh, wonderful. Yes, please.
Okay.
I had a terrible fall on the 14th. I stepped off the sidewalk and suddenly I was flat on the pavement, and my right ankle was twisted, and I have sprains on my wrist. So I've been off work all this week, and my regular doctor is on vacation, so I'm going to see a different doctor on Monday, and I'm going to ask her to extend my time off.
That's a divine appointment for you. There's a reason why your doctor isn't there, okay? When you never hear the saying that you got to pay attention when things happen that normally don't happen, that there's reasons for that, that's your first sign to answer to one of your questions, is it's supposed to be this way. This person is supposed to see you because of something that they're going to say and see is going to be different than what your normal doctor would have seen or said.
Well, actually what happened was my regular doctor that I've had for over a year, I went to her, and her demeanor and tone with me was, she was very irritated and sounded, and then she called me because I was just documenting my symptoms, and she sounded angry, and I meditated on it for several hours, and I decided this wasn't right for me, so I changed, and I talked to the department that helps find a new doctor, and there wasn't anybody that I related to by their picture. And then something was telling me when I woke up that morning at 7, go online again. And oh my God, I saw my doctor. Her name is Diane, and her last name starts with a D. And I immediately related to her. And in her blog, she talks about communication and being supportive of her patients. So I chose her.
You see? So you gotta remember you gotta remember, okay, you have your spirit guide, right? You have your guardian angel that's with you 24/7 from the minute you were created. When the veil came up, you started manifesting your own reality to what you believe is so, okay? And when you tap into your higher consciousness and you pay attention to you have your conscious and your subconscious and your conscious. When you start paying attention to your subconscious mind, you can get answers to your own questions. But a lot of people get distracted. They get too busy. But you got to remember that we have some people don't like to talk about it, but all right, I'm going to get real, okay? There's ETs and there's other sources, and if you could really see what's in the room with you sometimes, you would really be careful with the company that you entertain, okay? Because you could be on a roll for something good, and what's around you with somebody else that they got something attached to them, we'll just say, and they happen to be in the right place at the right time, they can rob you of your dreams. Okay, it's very important that you pay attention when you feel like you're at that place where you're going to manifest something huge, that you really be cautious of who you put around you right now. I need to say that. But I also will tell you, go ahead.
There's some, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. You need to tell me something. Go ahead.
Well, there's more to this story. Current job, I'm going through terrible stress, and I've asked my boss to switch me to member services in the call center. He hasn't responded to me, and and I was supposed to schedule my transportation the day before to go to work on the 14th, but somehow I forgot to do it. So I do have a disability, and I need my job, so I left. I walked out the door, and I was going to catch a bus, even though it would be really painful for me. And then I had the fall. And then my boss wasn't even going to be there for a week. His team lead was going to be there, and I don't trust her. So maybe it was God. Maybe God was protecting me because I still have my job. Because
there was no maybe. When you first thought God was protecting you, your first thought was what? God was protecting you, right? So you got to learn to tap it. Listen, did you hear? You just answered your own question. That's what I'm talking about. You need to pay attention to what your subconscious mind is telling you, because you're ready right now to learn the things that you need to learn. You're growing, not only spiritually, I keep seeing your heart changing. Okay? Because there's some things that you haven't had resolved in your life that you have got to go through these little struggles and make your testimonies so you can evolve, because what you're doing is your spirit guides are showing you all these things, these synchronicities, because you're ready to be the person that you were created to be. Right now it's harvest time for everybody. We were just talking about this at the beginning of the show, okay? Like, you know, that person, the reason why you feel that way around that person, that's your higher self telling you pay attention. But do you see the blessing in where you were shown that person wasn't there for that time, and how you already knew your third eye is opening right now, okay? You need to be very careful for the 3 things you want to manifest in your life. I want you to get a piece of paper, and in your prayer and meditation time in the morning, take at least 5 minutes in the morning to look at this piece of paper, write 3 items on it that you want to manifest. If it's your ankle, if it's clarity, if it's a new job, if it's transition, whatever it is, take 3 things, and I want you to write them on a piece of paper. And in the morning, before you get out the door, and you take 5 minutes and dedicate it to those things, and I guarantee you by April 15th, you're going to see some growth and manifestation. And you're going to see at least 2 of those things, depending on what you put out there, they're going to fall in your lap. Just like you just showed us, you just told us your story about your boss and about the doctor changing. Do you see? When you do things in 3s, okay, that is a huge sign. You have one big thing that's going to come to you before the 15th, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the kicker right here. And it's going to be one of those things on that paper. And once you see that you can manifest these things, I want you to take another piece of paper, and I want you to boldly, when you go up in the morning, you know, there's a I don't know if it's a Japanese proverb, and it says it's basically about a woman who has a determination, and it's a spiritual saying that when her feet hit the ground, you better watch out, because she's going to manifest it. You're going to learn to make changes and heal your body, because this is what you're learning. You're learning that you can manifest changes. And right now, you're going to see some big transitions between now and, I would say, December. You're going to see that whatever you nourish in your life is going to blossom. You have big things coming. I see big things coming in something. And I see a little girl around you. Huh.
It's ironic that you say that, because I applied online for another job last night. Even though I was tired, I downloaded my resume and added to it, and I put it in God's hands. And I only need 1 more year of employment before I start drawing my Social Security. And I looked at I read by looking at at these people online for the doctor directory, and then I stopped at this one, and I was offered another appointment, and I canceled it. My intuition just didn't feel it, and then I saw Dr. I'll say her name is Mary, and her first name starts with an M. I have an appointment with her on Monday, and
all right, I have to stop you a minute. All right, this is something that I'm going to teach you real quick. Do you notice how you keep talking about I had a feeling and this happened, I had a feeling and this happened, and I had a feeling and this happened? Oh, wow, I see film in my room. All right, this is a message from your spirit guide. What you need to pay attention to is, you know that feeling that you feel? It's kind of like your sixth sense. Like you get like a certain vibration in your body. Are you following me when you get that feeling? You know that vibration, how it's the same every time you get your intuition? That vibration you feel that you know it's accurate?
It's an inner knowing.
All right, but you know how it puts a feeling in your body, like a certain feeling, like, you know, like if you were to feel joy or anxiety, or you get a certain vibration, a certain feeling that you know that it's familiar because you felt it when you knew about your boss. It was familiar when you knew about your doctor and Diane was the right one. It was familiar when you just talked about what you just shared. You need to really pay attention to that vibration, because what's going to happen, the more that your spirit guides know that you can feel its energy, it's going to start opening your crown chakra, and you're going to be able to tap into your higher consciousness really quick. Like you'll be able to think of something and it'll manifest because your spirit guide already knows that you know its vibration and it knows that you got its attention because you recognize it. And when you let it know that it recognizes, imagine your spirit guide clapping like, yay, she knows me now. And you can actually listen and get accurate information from your spirit guide. Just like I do when I teach people, it's tapping into your higher consciousness. But you got to remember, the more you go to source, the more it'll come to you. It's no different than anybody who's got spiritual gifts. You can go to church all day long, but if you ain't getting down, you're not getting down. Okay? Spirit gets down with those who get down with spirit. Okay? So when you can tap into that higher source that's working with you, it will drop miracles in your lap one after another, and you can manifest anything you want, girl. I teach on this. I do.
I think what you're picking up is a doctor that I've had for a year. She wasn't going to approve me off. And I think that the new Dr. Diane, who I've never met, I think she would have approved me off just by reading her face. But I have a sense that Mary, I don't know if she'll approve me off for another week or longer, but I need more time because my wrists are sprained and I'm expected to type for 8 hours.
So you just said you needed more time. So now you got to be prepared that you spoke that now you got to stop with that and you got to expect that to manifest. The more you can learn to maneuver with that idea, the faster what you want to manifest will manifest. This is a very cool thing that if you learn to master this, you can do anything. I ain't lying. I teach on this for real.
I need to learn that.
So do you feel that I'm going to get a new job?
Oh, you don't need to know, girl. You and I need to talk off air. Listen, for real. Listen, I don't know how to use computers, and I was in a situation, and I needed to. Another one of those times, I saw myself flying into home base out of the blue. One of my girlfriends, I hadn't talked to in forever, calls, puts a post online. Not even a half an hour later, I had people calling me, and I have a 7-bedroom house. I rented out all the bedrooms in my house, made them pay first and last deposits, and had weekly checks coming to my bedroom door. I had right away, I instantly had $6,000 in my hand. And checks coming from every single one of my renters every Friday from all 5 of my renters. And I didn't even have to leave my house. I went to the beach and went on vacation. Took my daughters on a cruise.
Well, congratulations on the abundance that you
I'm serious. Go to my website. I'll book an appointment with me. For real. It's easy.
Do you think I'll get a new job soon, and will I be able to keep it for at least a year?
You can do anything you want once you learn that your words are powerful, okay? You already told me that your spirit guides are working with you and you're already paying attention. And you're talking to somebody who's clairvoyant, and you have everybody else, Holly, Sandy, and, Kelly, everybody that's here that's aboard that's sending you these good vibes. And, I know that the work that we do when we get off the show, our spirit guides are working with you to help give you these signs, okay? Just keep paying attention to, to that vibration that we talk about, that vibe that you feel. And even if it's out of the ordinary and it just seems, it sounds like you're really already tapped in because you've already made changes. So you're ready to, when you say, can I, your spirit guides are lining you up, letting you know that you're ready to manifest these things. You just have to believe that what you speak, your words are very powerful. Like religion back in the day. I love religion, and I had a Jesus experience, and it's awesome, and I can talk about that, on a different time. But you got to believe that when you go to your source of whatever it is, if you believe you can manifest it, it's no different than going to church and asking for something. As long as you leave it in your higher power's hands and you just shut the switch off, okay? Like say, I want to be, do you know what another thing is? Spirit wants you to be exact. Be exact, okay? Like when I wanted boots, okay? I didn't want only boots, but I wanted the finest boots. And not only did I get the finest boots, I had a lady walk up to me to tell me about my boots. And I told her, I said, well, you won't believe how I got these. She walked up to me to tell me that she loved my boots, that I know that they were made out of the finest Italian leather,
and that she just wanted to tell me how nice my boots were because she was actually from Italy and was a professional bootmaker. And she said that she felt like it gets better. She said that she thought that she had to be where she was at that time to give a message to somebody. And I started laughing because I told her that I prayed for these boots, and they came right to my prayer door. Not even 3 days later.
Congratulations on your abundance. And I already constantly looking at my cell phone all day, and I've been wanting a new job. So just recently I looked at the calendar and I said, okay, what day would you like to start training in your new job? And I chose April 22nd, Earth Day. So that's the day I chose. So that means I should be hired soon because they need to do the background check, which I will pass with flying colors.
All right, let me tell you something right now. You got to remember this. Listen to me real quick. If you have, I have a vision board. If I took a picture of my vision board right now, you would be cracking up. Okay, everything that I want to manifest, when I wake up first thing in the morning, it is the first thing I see. The more energy you give to what you want to manifest, the quicker it'll manifest because you're doing what? Catering more to the vibration. And what you cater to has to what? Manifest. So the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. You know, sometimes I'll do something fun. Like I told my sister this today. She's an F&I director for a real big dealership. And she said, I just need to get through today. I've been working 11 days. And I told her to put a piece of tape or tie a piece of string around her finger. And every time she sees that string or that piece of tape, to remember something very simple about what she was trying to work through that day. Because every time you cater to that thought, you're actually helping. It's like healing the body. People, you can heal the body if you have cancer. You can heal. I healed my body. I'm a walking miracle. But it comes from belief and how much you put into it, okay? So if you want something to manifest, you got to think about it. So, like, for example, that piece of tape. So I know today, as crazy as it sounds, every time she looks at that tape, she knows I only got to get it through the rest of today. I only got to make it through the rest of today. And every time that she claimed that, you are catering to the vibration of manifestation. You understand? So I don't care what it is. I don't care if you want a pink polka dotted pony to come. It may be a stuffed animal you got from Perkins, but it'll come. I'm serious. I've seen crazy stuff manifest, okay? I'm going to write a book about it one day. But you can have anything you want and you desire, but you have to be very, very careful because the universe will bring it to you good or bad. Just like we were talking earlier in the show, like a speeding ticket. You know what I mean? The minute you flip that switch from I got it to I don't got it, you're going to get it or you're not, depending on, you know what I mean, what you cater to. So as long as you believe you can manifest it and it's something good and your spirit guide knows that you're going to do something with good with it, you always want to do manifestation, use that tool for helping yourself, not in a selfish way, but to be a better person or for health or to be, to be an inspiration or to be a testimony like how you were sharing. I mean, it could be one caller or one person just listening to this show, hearing what you had to share, and they learned from your testimony to do something different, to step outside their comfort zone. A lot of people don't do things because they're afraid of fear. And then when they hear that little voice like you heard, like that little nudge to do something different, they change, The more you pay attention to that, especially now, be real, real careful. Get that piece of paper, write 3 things down, and stay focused. Get a vision board and write on a piece of paper what you want to manifest. And the more you look at that piece of paper, the more, sometimes if I want something to happen during the day, it's something I'm afraid I might forget or I'm not giving enough energy to, I'll actually write it on a piece of paper and put it in my pocket so that when I touch it, I realize that that's something that I wanted to cater to and to have memory of. You know what I mean? Do it.
Yes,
writing is an instrument, even if it's a heart or something.
I do.
If you want to work on matters of the heart, And
I believe that Diane, my new doctor who I've not met yet, Diane D, I'm confident that she would have approved me off immediately and that it would have been a much more comfortable experience talking to her as my primary care doctor. And I also believe that Mary, the doctor I see on Monday, will support me. And hopefully puts me off work through the following Monday.
All right.
So, and then I asked myself when I was looking at the calendar and I chose April 22nd as my first day of training in my new job, I asked myself, well, how long would you like the training to be? And I chose 12 weeks, 3 months. So I put it out in the universe.
That's good. That's good. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I was going to tell you that this is real important. You got to know, okay, so like let's say you're wanting to make changes, okay? So your spirit guide goes and works with other spirit guides and lines up this plan for you. But let's say you have something that comes in the way, okay? Your spirit guide will always have a backup plan for you because sometimes we have a way of getting our own self and our own, habits of missing the signs. So your spirit guide might have lined Diane up to get your attention so that it knows that it's got your attention so that it could get the right person there. I see that so many times. I've even had it in my own life, okay? Well, when I was little, when I was younger, I wanted to work with kids. And I was pissed because I saw all these young girls at this daycare center, and I thought, you know what? I want this job. And I was in the parking lot, and Spirit showed me, you know what? I have a bigger plan for you. And the next thing I know, not even a year later, I moved to Montana. And if I would have got that job there that I thought I needed, it wasn't for me. But Spirit was testing me to see if I was going to go after it, to see if I was going to budge. Because it needed me to budge. It needed to know I was paying attention to my higher self, like what we were talking about, that feeling. You'll know it. It's like your sixth sense, that's very, very real. The more you pay attention to that, the more your spirit guide will bring you to that vibration to get your attention because it knows it's got your attention, right?
Right. And what were you saying about April 15th?
Watch you're going to see a lot of things make that list that I told you of 3 things. And when I'm saying, focus on it, and don't believe that anything's going to get in your way. And you're going to see something happen real, real cool before the 15th of April. Before the 15th of April, one of those things on that list is going to shock you. Something's going to shock you. Just write those 3 things down. You have to be, you're learning the tools of manifestation. So let's say your spirit guides are like, wow, she's going to go write these things down, and now I'm going to go and I'm going to make these things come up and line up in her path. And when they get your attention and they're out of the ordinary and you pay attention to them, those are the signs like in the Bible or that they talk about that people that have premonitions, visionaries, how it works, they say we all have tools like Jesus, but different, So when you can tap into what your spirit guide shows you, what I see as a sign is going to be different than what you see as a sign. But when it's a sign. When you can pay attention to them, that's your spirit guide saying, hey, I'm making something happen for you.
When you say I'm going to be shocked, will it be in a happy way?
Yes. Something is going to happen that's going to manifest for you that you've been wanting to have happen. It's going to be accurate for you. And you're going to be like, wow, I was on the show with Holly and Kelly and Sandy, and they were all saying this was going to happen. You better call back and tell us. Or hit me up on my website. But I guarantee you that you're going to be like, something's going to happen. I keep saying, like, this is the kicker. Something's going to happen before the 15th, and it's going to shock you, and it's going to be something that you wanted to manifest. And it's going to be something that you tried to focus on because your spirit guide wants to show you. Your spirit guide brought you to a bunch of people that can help you tap into higher consciousness. And it's already happening right now. People that teach us, I don't care if you call one of those, 1-800 psychic lines, they're going to tell you what everybody's going to tell you. Things are happening to everybody right now. They're shifting because of the full moon that we just had, and we're going to have another one moving into Aries. Everybody's putting their warrior gear on. Everybody's cleaning house and whooping ass. If it doesn't serve you, you're saying I'm cleaning house and this is what's best for me. Everybody's doing what's best to love self. So you will have these transitions, not only because people are praying, and global, there's groups, a lot of 111 groups, okay? And start paying attention to numbers, okay? And when you see certain numbers at all, that get your attention.
Oh, I am heavy into numerology. If you can see my phone number, which I will not say on the air, I negotiated big time with AT&T for that phone number.
Wow.
Well, do you have 3 numbers that you see all the time?
Well, I numbers mean a lot to me, whether it's a receipt or anything. I pay attention to numbers all the time.
Well, that's another sign that you're already higher. You're already more enlightened than you guys are, for real. Right.
I have a question, ma'am. Would you mind if you give me your area code?
775.
Okay, I think I looked at your phone number right now. I see what you're talking about. I won't say it on the air, but I see what you're talking about with numerology. Okay, so.
Yes, and I like the number 7, and then the last 5 numbers are all the same, and
that's correct.
So I really negotiated to get that phone number.
Well, 7 is a master number. Okay, it's the number of completion and wholeness. So when you think about the number 7, you ever done? It's funny. I did a channeling. Channeling. How can I say this? I'm going to write a book on this. It's actually a preacher that died in Times Square. I won't drop no names right now, but he reached me and gave me some things on numerology and taught me. He used to draw 777 on everything and 333. And since that time, I see 137 all the time. You need to, have you looked online to see what those numbers mean, like in angel code and stuff? You bother doing your homework on that?
I visit angel numbers online all the time, and 11 is the master number, and 3 is a wonderful number, and 3 to me means Trinity, and then 3 times itself, 3 times is 27. So I'm heavy into numbers.
Okay.
I am too. I teach on them.
I want to say something, because this is something I told Ann earlier, and I think I've told Kelly this, but I haven't done this. Okay, when I was born, my birth name was not Jonathan Alexander. My birth name was Jonathan Gutierrez. My father changed it because he got so sick of changing, like explaining the spelling of the name on the phone with everybody. So what I did was I sat down when I first got into numerology. I'm sorry to cut everybody off, but this is a good story. And I did my name, and my name adds up to 111.
Oh, wow.
And, being you're into numerology, ma'am, and I've asked Diane this, what's your opinion of that?
Well, when you said the 3 ones, then immediately, if you wrote number 1 3 times in a row, and if you put your finger on age number 1, then there's 3 2s.
Interesting.
And if you have 4 number 1s in a row, that's actually 6 2s.
Well,
so I am heavy into numbers in my daily life. I enjoy numbers. And
let me ask you a question. Let's say you're sitting somewhere and you think of a particular person that's in spirit, okay, that's no longer with you. Do you take their numbers? Like, for example, my mom died at 555. So when I'm thinking about her, I will look at the clock sometimes and it will be 555. Or if I'm wishing that my mom, I know she's around, one way or another, but, I would think of her and I would see the numbers 555 if it's a time. What you need to do is, what you're going to notice is the more you pay attention to them, that's the way that your guides use to connect with you, to show you things so that later those numbers in particular are your numbers. It's your guide's way of communicating with you in your own language, And eventually, it's good. The more you pay attention to it, your guide will actually add more numbers to you when it knows that you understand the meaning of the ones that you're seeing now. All you have to do is ask. Say, you can ask your guide, what does this number mean to me? And your spirit guide will even wake you up in a dream if you want. Ask. You know what I mean? Do you ever wake up in the middle of the morning, like a 2 to 3?
I wanted to ask you something. That you said you're into numerology. I have your phone number here. Would you object to me texting you and talking to you about coming back on the show?
Oh, no, I would not object at all. That's fine.
I'll
very
send
cool.
you a text message right now, okay? But you can continue. I'd love for you to come back on.
The
We should
thing
do
I'm
a
going
show on numerology. On the blue jeans.
Yeah, that would be cool. The thing I'm afraid of is that we might get disconnected on this show if you had it set for 1 hour, because I know we've gone over, but we've done that before, and then before the second hour was up, it disconnected. So if that happens and it says, thank you for using Blog Talk Radio, goodbye, then...
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about it.
Said,
oh,
but,
okay.
But, and I set this one for 2 hours. So I wanted to make sure. I wanted her to be able to. She had a lot to say, and I wonder. It says here.
That's perfect because I didn't know, and I didn't want it to be like people thinking that we're waking up on them. Like, thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
I wanted everybody this time to have a chance to talk, and I just sent a text to you, ma'am, so I hope you'll be able to receive it. My number is 850-737-4160. I tell that number to everybody. It's even on the shirt.
Yeah, you got the matching shirt. Now we just have to meet. To me.
Well, I look at numbers. I look at numbers on my driver's license, which I do not drive. I never have, but I was able to get a driver's license. I look at numbers in my Social Security card. I look at receipts. I look at. I'm very sensitive to numbers, and I play with numbers all the time, and I don't necessarily talk about numbers. Generally speaking, but I'm in the good company of all of you, so I feel more inclined and more comfortable doing so.
Good. Wonderful. I love having that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What I was going to say is
that's quite a compliment.
There are some people, and it sounds like almost like you are this kind of you're this kind of person. We had a guy. There's a guy that I was trying to get on the show, and about some time ago, his name was Daniel Tammons, and this is really weird about him. If you told him a number, like say 34 or 27 or something, he wouldn't see the 27 or the 34. He would see a shape or something like it was like and one of the things that was interesting was that if you told them about the number pi, because pi was a number that never repeats, and it just goes on and on. And it sounds a little bit more like that's what you're talking about. I don't know if that's the case, but it sounds almost like
I'm fascinated by numbers, and I am not one of these people, but I heard that some people can actually taste numbers.
Well,
if
that's
you
what
Google it online,
like. His name is Daniel Tammons. That's what this guy is like. He would look at you and he'll tell you that it's a certain number, and that's almost like it's how you're talking. I'm not saying that that's what you are, but what I'm saying is that that's sort of my take. But I'd like to have you back on. We have a lot of numerologists on. We're actually thinking about doing a hypnotist where Kelly's going to get going to get regressed.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
And the funny thing is that Kelly is often the guinea pig. Kelly's also a guinea pig. I joked about how one of these days we're going to shoot her out of a can, and we.
I just won't do skydiving. At least not that I'm aware of, or bungee jumping. Anything to do with heights. I think I reached my comfortable, not very comfortable. I cried in the middle doing a rope course once, but but I got through it. So, but yeah, I don't know. I tend to want to conquer my fears, so I have a feeling that once I get back on my feet, I'll be on the frickin' rope course, and then I'll end up eventually owning it. Like, yeah, I mastered the rope course.
Own it, girl.
Yeah, it's like that is one of my huge fears, you know. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say people that follow synchronicity, especially if you're passionate about it, it's just like somebody who taps into religion for the first time. They're real hungry for it, okay? And what that means is you're already at a higher level of consciousness, which means, you can't take back what you already know. See, there's people that aren't at your level that don't pay attention to these things, you know. As a spiritualist, we say, let those sleep that are sleeping because they're not ready. And people that are able to tap into stuff like numerology, okay, especially when they have a passion for it, okay, like a hunger for it, it means that is a part of your purpose for being here. And that vibration that you put off, that when you see them and you get so excited, I see 137s all the time, okay? But I do remote viewing and, I do, other stuff on governmental levels and stuff like that. But the point being is your spirit guide, when they start using numbers with you and you are so alert and aware of them, that is a proof to you that you're already running from a 5 or a 7D consciousness, okay? Density, 5D, 7D density, which means when you already can tap into manipulating that vibration, you only can go higher. It's like learning math, okay? The more you learn, the more, and if you tell your spirit guide, hey, I told my spirit guide I didn't want to learn more numbers for a while. I wanted a break. Because you can tell your spirit guide to give you a break, and they will, okay? They're there to guide you, and they do it on your own timing, Imagine you came here to learn some things, and when you want the book to be open, you just say, I'm ready. And when you don't, you say, close the book for a minute. So you can actually say, hey, tell me what these numbers mean. And your spirit guide will drop it right in your lap because that's one of their gifts to you, okay? Just like in the Bible, and what they talk about. Everybody has gifts that everybody's just unique and different, Not everybody can read numbers or are drawn to numbers, And a lot of people out of fear, it scares them. But it doesn't scare you. You know what I'm saying?
I wish they would give me the lottery number.
Yeah, that's another thing. What would you do with it, though? I mean, would you do it to benefit others? Would it be something that you would use for self-gratification, for
I'd use it for others, mostly others.
Yeah, see, that's something a lot of people, I had somebody come up to me in the airport, and he was some young kid, and he says, well, give me the lotto numbers since you blah, 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 and it was me and another spiritualist talking, and we just smiled and looked at him. We asked him, well, what would you do with it? And he said that he would buy a new car, okay?
Oh,
well, let's say, where if there was the two of you holding a ticket, who do you think would get the ticket? You see what I'm saying? So people always ask them, and it's like the truth is who's going to do the best thing with it? That's who's going to do the right thing is who should have it, bottom line.
Yeah, the problem is with that, it doesn't always work out that way. You hear somebody blew it on a bunch of drugs or something stupid.
Oh, but you know what? What do drugs do? When people have trauma, what do? They go to source. So you got to look at it like that too. I can tell you a true story. There was a guy, I didn't even know him. He actually got a big settlement from the government. He was in the military, and he took his money and he went to Daytona Beach and rented a hotel and got a bunch of drugs and a bunch of hookers and was doing $350 a day worth of drugs. And when these girls went through all his money, he was a diabetic. They left him to die. I'm known here to do healings and stuff. I got a phone call to go downtown and to go and see if this guy was dying or not, because I can tell, I see angels and I connect, like that's a whole other topic, but I do healings on people. So I was called to go down there and basically say, hey, is this guy going somewhere or not going somewhere? Can you pray for him? And so I went down there. When I went down there, I immediately knew that the guy wasn't going to die. And I had one of my prayer people come and meet me. And immediately I started rubbing my hands together and touching him all over his body. I didn't know anything about the guy except for that he was on life support. Well, apparently they were going to have to amputate his legs, and they didn't think that he was in a coma, and they didn't think he was going to make it. And long story short, after I had my other person come and meet with me, and we were done praying over him, and I saw all this stuff. You know, I was touching his body for about an hour and a half. I was going over his body, doing like Reiki healings, but I was just paying attention to what my guides were showing me. And then I was showing to cup his head, like at a certain part where his skull was, to make like a cup form over his head, and I was showing that things were being removed. So about a week later, the guy, he ends up, that night, I get a phone call in the middle of the night. The doctors want to know what I was doing in there because he sat up out of his coma. He immediately said, who was touching his legs? He felt fire and electricity going through his legs, and he immediately started yelling, who erased my memory? My memory was erased. And what happened is I was showing that when this gentleman, not going to use names, but I can kind of tell the story because they wouldn't mind, because they're a walking testimony, because that day they quit drug addiction, $350 a day, okay, to stop cold turkey and have what happened to this person. They're a walking miracle. They were going to amputate the guy's legs. He actually sat up, and what I saw was that because he had past issues with his children and his ex-wives, many ex-wives, okay, that he had no relationship with them or his children, and he was hurting from that. So he would go to the drugs, okay, every morning. And what was happening was it was erasing his memory, those hurt pains, so he could heal. So basically when he came out of that coma, he couldn't remember any of that stuff. It was removed, okay? So he went from being these kind of things happen. When your spirit guide shows you that you're aware of certain things, if it's to benefit somebody, they're going to use you as an instrument. And what's going to happen is people like me have children that are tapped into this, and people like you call into shows and you're brave and you want to talk about things and you have confirmation and you share. Eventually, all the children of the world are going to evolve and know that miracles like this happen every day. If this dude could go from no offense, but hookers and $350 a day drug habit to sitting up out of a coma, and he has a whole story. He actually said that he saw his mom in spirit, and he said he went to heaven and all this, and he came to the house to meet me and to thank me. And this is a guy who quit cold turkey. Okay? Wow. Imagine if you could go to a drug class or to a recovery meeting and say, hey, this happened to me. And you know what I mean? These things are real, and people right now are learning this over and over and over and over. You can go on YouTube and Google this kind of stuff, and you can watch videos even where people will tell you that these things are real. The more that we return to what our ancestors believed, I mean, like the story of, turning, splitting the sea and, the food and all the miracles from the Bible and, testimonies. We could do that today. What happened is religion and power and government and drugs, running through government. That's a whole other topic, where people got out of the understanding that you can heal your body by manifesting good health. You know what I'm saying? Everything you put into your life that you created. So imagine if, you're a plant and you want red flowers. Well, if you plant seeds that are for red flowers, they're going to grow and bloom, right? Well, the more you nourish that flower, the more it's going to blossom and be beautiful, right? You ever hear the saying, like, plants, that if you sing to them or if you play good music to them and you talk to them, you're putting a vibration into that frequency as well. It will actually grow and manifest into the same beauty that you put into it. Just like we were talking about the study of water, Dr. Emoto. If you got rage and anger and you're upset and you're pissed off and you're chugging a gallon of water and you're wanting to whoop somebody's ass, you're putting that in your body. It's the same thing. If you're putting that vibration and you're watering that plant, okay, and you're nourishing it, it's going to blossom and bloom beautiful. Imagine your soul and nourishing your body with all the things that you believe in that your higher self tells you that helps you evolve. The more you put that vibration and frequency out, especially when we talk about numerology and the numbers 1 and 7, you are sharing master numbers that you already got it within you, and it's going to be like a lightning bolt that goes off. I bet you what happens with you is you tap into your higher self, and you'll end up seeing like a Kundalini experience. If you know anything about you should probably try a Kundalini meditation. I love Kundalini meditations. They're very powerful, and they help you tap into your higher self, okay? And depending on what you've already experienced, it brings enlightenment to the experiences that you've had. So, like, if you ever wanted to know why you were drawn to a certain color or anything, I don't care what it is, elements especially, or numbers, you will actually get the answers to them, like, very, very quickly when you start to do these Kundalini meditations. Look them up online.
Oh, wow.
Like, do a simple one. You can look them up. Go to YouTube and just do a beginner's one, just because if you talk to anybody that studies that stuff, it's very, very powerful. So you don't want to go doing advanced stuff until you experience it and do your homework on what the Kundalini meditation is. And you just have to sit through it and listen, and the vibrations and the tones in the meditation will do the work for you. Okay, that's a whole other study, but anything that you want to do and manifest and know, all you have to do is in your prayer and meditation time, put it out there, sit back and wait. You've already claimed numbers that are manifestation numbers. I mean, you're rattling them off like I'm like, wow, this girl knows her stuff. And you do, and you know why? Because that's your gift. You know what I mean? That's your part of your purpose for coordinating, for being here. So use it, and your spirit guides will show you things and open all these doors that you're talking about, even, jobs and all this stuff. You're going to watch. By April, I want you to call back, and I want to hear what happens to you by the 15th. I can't wait.
Yeah, we need to make a show around then.
Oh, we definitely
we get everybody back on. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I agree.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Yeah, you hear that, John?
I've been on here for about 2 hours, so we might be out of time. But it was great to have you on, and I hope we can have you on again very soon.
Sure. It was so much fun. I thank you for inviting me, and I love chatting with everybody, Holly, Kelly, Sandy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, I enjoyed it very much. This was great. This is what I needed. And I know that you said that we should all get together around the 15th, and, wouldn't mind having another show in between, or more to have you on, because, you have a lot to teach us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And you know what? If we're going to do the on-live thing, I would like to do a chakra session with Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to do that for sure. Yes.
Very cool. Thank you. Yeah, just talk to Johnny about it, because he schedules everything.
Okay.
And I want to thank everybody for calling in today.
Yes, thank you for all the calls.
Yeah, everybody have a blessed night.